We are back. All right, here we go. Another woman theory video by Homath. I'm very excited to see what this one's all about. Apparently, this is about being nice to women, all right? They said be nice, but they were wrong. So this is the a lot theory. Lock in, boys and girls. We got a crazy deep dive ahead of us. This is today's lore here on Taku. Every day, new lore. That's how this works. Every day, new lore.
I don't have a boyfriend, but I do have a lot, so go on those dates, ladies.
I don't have a boyfriend, but I do have a lot. You may recognize this statement as a different form of, I am the table. I don't have a boyfriend, meaning I have not promised anything to anyone, but I do have a lot of things promised to me, or already delivered. Let's hear the story.
I started going on dates last August. It is also August, so I've been dating for a year now, and I don't have a boyfriend. But let me tell you what I do have. I have a financial advisor. I have a physical therapist. I have a CEO to get investment and business advice from.
I get it.
I have a plastic surgery doctor. I have a man who fixed my car for me. While I don't have a boyfriend, I do have many other professions now in my back pocket. I have a man who knew I wanted a G7X. He's gonna watch this. He knew I wanted a G7X, and so he bought it. I paid him for it. I wouldn't do that, but I couldn't get it on the drops, and he got it for me.
All right, got it.
Dude, that is incredible. These people are miserable, by the way. I don't think you're aware. These are deeply miserable people with high body counts and will be sad forever. Like, I'm not trying to be rude here when I say this. I'm not trying to be rude here. But the reality is, this is a deeply sad person that will grow up to be desperately alone. Collecting, like, you think that a boyfriend is just the tasks that males could do for you. All right, so don't worry. I don't need a boyfriend because I get dicked down by that retard. Right? I don't need a boyfriend because I get financial advice from that guy that really wants to sleep with me. I don't need a boyfriend because I get, and etc. etc. Now the crazy thing is, and this is a little bit heartbreaking. These dudes are gonna watch this and be done with the hooker. Yeah, I don't know about that. Dudes are lonely these days. But the reality is, this is someone desperately alone, and doesn't have someone that actually loves her. Has a lot of people that want her around them, perhaps, but you know, tragically, these are people that are going to be alone and miserable for a very long time. And this is the cope. The cope is telling the world that I don't need it, because she really does.
All right, got it. I'm going to lead you through the transaction using worksheets from my packet called The Table, available on the link in my bio, along with a link to Shortform, my sponsor. Shortform has summaries of books that help you learn. I will leave the link right here, also in the video description. Now, as you fill out the table, be sure to reference the table table, which is a table of things to put on the table. A lot of these are overlooked. When we think of what you bring to the table, we usually think of things like your money that you've earned, or your body, or cooking and cleaning, and those are all just physical things that you have or do. But also, you can bring your situation, which might be your social status or roles that you play in society. Maybe you're a leader somewhere. It includes your personality characteristics and things about who you are. Like maybe you have a lot of patience. That's very rare and valuable. And you can even bring your relationships to others and your life history and the things that you're connected to. I have, at times in the past, been friends with someone, and it made me very, very popular. So what you do is you figure out everything you have to bring to the table, and then you put it on the table. So the top is player 1 and the bottom is player 2. And in this case, there are, I think, 7 guys, and they are bringing, let me check. There was 6. And what they are bringing is finance advice, physical therapy, investment management, plastic surgery, auto repair, and career services. And that's all we know. We don't have anything to put here or here in this particular story. And we can only assume what they want, which is most likely just don't talk to other dudes. And that's a problem since there is 6 of them. I put that in the would be nice category since obviously they're not making...
Because these dudes that are doing things for her, quite literally, it's because they want her. It's the unfortunate reality, woman. They're not doing it because they want to be besties. All right, I'm gonna... This is gonna be like... this is controversial. Every time I hear someone say it, I see people get upset. men and women generally can't really be friends. I'm sorry. They could be acquaintances. They could be, like they could be friends with each other's. Your wife could be friends with that woman, and you could be friends with that woman because your wife is friends with that woman. But for the most part, when a man and a woman are friends, it's because the man wants to sleep with the woman. This is just a truth, Nuke. And I'm sorry, bro. I don't be rude here. That's my opinion. You have the right to disagree. I think you're wrong. I think that a man and a woman are friends, all right, and they don't have like other friends that make them friends. It's usually because they want to sleep with each other, or one of them wants to sleep with the other.
Being sure of it. Now let's look at what she wants. There are different levels of want.
This isn't going to be every time, but I think it's probably like 90%.
There are things that you don't want, and there are things that you don't care about. We don't know of either of those. And then there's things that she needs and things that would be nice. And we don't know for sure, but it sounds to me like she would not be talking to any of these guys if they weren't doing these things for her. So we're going to put that all in the need category. And
yeah, she obviously doesn't care about any of these people. Obviously. She said, I don't have a boyfriend, but I do have a financial advisor and an auto repair guy and a plastic surgeon, right? Like, you don't care about the person.
And there's what she's bringing, which is, I guess, me probably, which means I will text some of you back.
That's right. What do you bring to the table? I bring myself. I bring this infinite potential of you actually having me as your girlfriend, which you won't.
Sometimes
because I am stringing you along for your services.
Doesn't seem like there's much more of a relationship here. And then I'm going to assume that she doesn't want to bring effort, attention, or hope since she's not doing it. So now you have your exchange. What these guys are bringing to the table is 6 different professional quality services, and what they want in exchange is attention and exclusivity, and she's not willing to give any. So we'll just fill up these meters. These guys are giving about, I would estimate, 70% of a relationship's worth of effort, and she is receiving it, and she is giving about 2% of the effort that she could give, and the guys are receiving nothing because they don't want what she's offering, which is just answering texts. Now, that doesn't seem like a very fair exchange, does it? That looks like exactly the way that I drew the table, doesn't it? These guys are putting in a ton of effort, and she is just receiving it. And you don't want to be this guy. Let me show you why. If you do things for her in exchange for nothing, then nothing is what you are worth to her.
Damn,
you don't want to be worth nothing, do you?
Damn, that's a truth nuke!
Giving her stuff for free, then she's going to feel like she deserves it, which is going to make her give less back, not only to you, but to the other 6 guys. And then you end up with a market where these guys are giving and giving and giving, and it's only other guys who are getting. And that is why this, giving and giving and giving, also known as simping, is a bad idea.
True.
If she likes you, she doesn't need you to do any of this. I have been this guy, the guy who gives 300%, 3 relationships worth of effort, and then she gives back 0, and at no point does she ever start giving something back. She's not gonna.
That's true. It needs to be a give and take from day one, all right? This infinite giving with 0 in return, just the giving is obviously not being received the way you want it to be received. And you got to wake up. It's tragic.
Also, been this guy, the guy who the total amount of effort I put in would be maybe I pick something up at the store and she does everything else. And at no point does she require you to do more than that. If they like you, you can get away with 5%. That is why simping is such a bad strategy. You're giving away everything and getting nothing. And this one is a fun strategy, but it hurts their feelings and then they hate men forever. That's why I put this one here. No. Find someone who gives you equal energy.
All right, so I actually, slight disagreement, all right, and I don't mean this as an insult. I don't think 50-50 is the correct split. I think it needs to be 100-100 split. All right, it needs to be an 100-100 split. Sometimes she's sick and you have to do everything. Sometimes you're sick and she's gonna do everything. All right, that's how it is. You need to put your 100% into it, and she needs to put her 100% into it. I think that's how a real relationship works. Once you start calculating and evaluating how, I'm doing 51% and that's a bit annoying. Now you have to do 51%. Calculating like that, I don't think that's super healthy either. You need to be a giver, but she also needs to reciprocate. And if she's not reciprocating, then your giving is going into the garbage. But yeah, no, it's diabolical.
Here's how that works. When you put something on the table and she receives it, she goes, "Oh, that's great. I like that. I better put something on the table to make sure that he doesn't leave." And if she doesn't do it and you don't leave anyway, then you are worth 0. You don't want to be worth nothing. And
yeah, there's no case. Oh, she'll come around. I'll just be her simp forever, and she'll come around. No. If you are giving, she needs to reciprocate. If she's not reciprocating, then your giving is she just wants the action. She doesn't care about you. That's heartbreaking, but yeah.
Also, you're driving prices out of control for the rest of us. I don't know about you, but I would never fix that girl's car.
True! Oh my god, I didn't even consider this. True! I would never do that, ever.
For 1/6 of her text message.
Especially because I don't give a shit about that. I really don't care about that at all. Like that, for me, that's nothing. I don't want random women messaging me and stuff. I'm super, I guess, antisocial in that regard. But no, actually, I want that less than nothing. All right, I want as few people to be messaging me as possible.
Message time, that's out of control. I mean, maybe for Sydney Sweeney or someone famous, it would be worth hours of labor for a few moments of attention, but for just some girl, you're embarrassing yourself.
True. If you could be like squatting in Billie Eilish's backyard because no one's illegal on stolen land, and she gets to call ICE to deport you, that seems incredibly worthwhile. But you know, whatever.
So here's the situation. This girl is intelligent. She understands her place in the market, and she has made choices about how to relate to it. I think her choices are low quality. I think she's basically just failing the shopping cart test. That's, if you don't return the shopping cart, it means you don't understand that living in a good world relies on you. If you don't put the cart back, who will?
True.
If you don't pick up trash, then there will be trash, which is why some places look like this. And if you...
Yeah, actually, there's a really good allegory to that. It's like, thou shalt not steal, right? You're not allowed to steal. Now, but what if you steal so little that it won't even really affect the guy, right? Think about it, all right? So you have a guy, he has 1,000 apples in his gigantic apple cart, and you take 1 apple, right? He has another 999 apples. It's not going to affect him. What do you mean? But God said, thou shalt not steal. And that doesn't apply to just stealing something that will affect someone. That means stealing in general. Because if everyone is thinking like you, then everyone is taking 1 apple from the shopping cart. And that person ends with nothing. All right? Thou shalt not steal is an eternal strategy. And honestly, super real-life analogy that I think happens to every single American. Some retard drives on the shoulder. And you're like... Every person is stuck in traffic. You're like, listen, I could just drive on the shoulder and I'll just be able to zip right past all these retards in the line. I can just go right past all of them. But if everyone starts driving on the fucking shoulder, then people are gonna die. All right? And real good people do not drive on the shoulder unless your wife is pregnant in the back seat or something. All right? That's the only excuse.
You accept a lot of energy without giving anything back, like this girl did to this guy, then they get angry and they do the same to others, which is what I did to this girl and a lot of other ones before I figured out it was wrong. That's leaving emotional trash everywhere, which pollutes the dating pool. And that's why everything sucks, because we all slid down the chart. We got a lot of people behaving like this and this. And it looked...
No, it's because, listen, man, we can discuss why we have all the emotional trash everywhere. And we do have a lot of emotional trash in society, don't get me wrong. But I think that one of the major reasons why we have emotional trash everywhere is because society is teaching women, largely, men too, don't get me wrong, I think it's feminizing and emasculating men as much as it possibly can. But I think it's teaching women that actually they don't need a giver. They could be the everything, the unit, and they don't need someone to actually give them love. And they do. I think women inherently do need someone to give them love. Just like I think men need someone inherently to give them respect. And I think that's the trade-off, right? In a relationship, obviously you both love and respect each other, but primarily the man gives the woman love and the woman gives the man respect. And that boosts both of them to actually make something greater than each of themselves could be alone. And society teaches them that, no, in order to be strong, you don't need love from a man. You don't need to respect men. All right. And then it teaches this entire generation of women to essentially be narcissists that are just, existing forever, floating around through life. Even these super successful women. All right. She has like 6 guys that does her shopping and but does her finances and fixes her car and shit. All right. She's a lawyer and successful. and she's miserable, desperately alone, and she needs to cope on TikTok in order to get people to not realize how depressed and sad she actually is. Because why would she post that video on TikTok if it's not just to make herself feel better? If she actually was super comfortable with herself, if she actually was happy, she would not be going to TikTok to tell people how happy she actually is. Because you have nothing to prove.
Looks like we're headed for this. So I don't like her choices, but they are her choices, and she has made them intelligently, and you must now do the same. If she is gonna take what she can get and give nothing back, then you have to stop giving until she gives up the roster. Do no favors for someone who has made you no promises. And make sure those promises are backed up by something. Promises don't mean anything if you don't...
That's right. Because that's the love-respect ratio. All right, if you don't get any respect, why should you give any love? You know, I'm just saying. And if you're a woman, if you're not getting any love, you shouldn't be giving him any respect. I'm just like being frank here. That's what we got. That's the trade-off, right? You can't exist. You can't give someone love if she's not giving you any respect in return, or she'll just destroy you and leave.
Don't lose
TLDR, don't date whores.
Something for breaking them. Do not keep doing labor for women in the hopes that they will pick you. They will not. That is not why they pick men. Labor goes here under investment, and if you do a lot of that, you end up in the friend zone. Women don't pick you for being in the friend zone, they pick you for making them feel special. And by special, I mean adult special. If you are doing this, you are in the male version of a
Yeah, but I think a lot of women feel adult special to people that they love and respect, to be honest. I think it's not just, you know, being a giga chad. It comes a lot more from an emotional connection than a physical one.
Situationship. You're giving everything and getting nothing. So just like women used to say, I'm not yours until I get a ring, now you have to say, yeah, I could fix your car if we live together, because then what's yours is mine, but otherwise I'm busy. If enough of you do this, the market will correct itself. It'll go from here back to here. Women spend their time with the top guys because the simps pay for nothing. If the simps stop paying, then they're gonna start asking the top guys to pay, and they'll say no, and then everyone will end up with who they're supposed to. So don't give away your investment for nothing. That's money, time, effort, support,
right,
commitment, emotional attachment,
cooking. This dude's cooking.
Sharing things. Tell her you only get this stuff if you are serious about this. And most of them won't, but the ones who do are the ones who will give you equal energy, instead of having no boyfriend but having a lot. One last detail before I go. This only applies to the big stuff. These are professional services being given for free to someone who does not appreciate them. Remember, you can use the table to evaluate every interaction. So if she's asking you for something ridiculously easy that she could do herself, and in exchange you get her exclusive attention, that might be a hanky drop. The hanky drop is women used to drop something on the ground so a man would come get it.
This dude really is breaking it down. That's crazy.
And that's not much work, but you do get a lot of attention. That fills up the relationship meter a lot without much effort from you. A lot of guys just don't pick up on this. Someone will say something like, come help me open the peanut butter, and it's not hard to open at all. And she didn't need you to do that. So why else would she want you there? Maybe it's...
She desperately wants you to give to her.
Because you're outside of the not people zone.
That's right.
But if she wants hundreds of dollars of unpaid labor, and in exchange she texts you LOL, then she probably just wants another slave.
True.
And being a slave is not attractive.
No, we don't
I did
like
everything
that.
you told
True.
me moves you in this direction, not this one. So you have to look at everything as an exchange, and don't give a lot to get a little. It's not going to work, and you are ruining the market. You are paying for what someone else gets, and that makes you cheap and therefore not valuable.
Damn.
And this girl even knows it. Remember this part?
Yup.
I have a man who knew I wanted a G7X. He's gonna watch this. He's gonna watch this. He's gonna watch this.
She's laughing because she's pointing out his low value in front of his face. but she also doesn't want to lose the free services.
Oh, God, that hurts.
And she won't as long as he stays in the dark and convinces himself that something is coming later. He thinks he has a chance, but she thinks he's just free labor. So remember,
I don't have a boyfriend, but I do have a lot, so...
Don't give her a lot. You won't be a boyfriend.
Yeah, I think he's totally right, by the way.
If you want to get the table, it's in my...
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll link this video in the description. This was a really good video. I actually agree with him. That's the reality. She wants a boyfriend. She doesn't want a slave. Nah, this is wild. So anyway, obviously you're gonna have retards on all sides. But the reality of the matter is, all right, don't give a lot for nothing. That's basic business, but it's also relationship shit too. All right, because the reality is, heartbreaking as it might seem, if she is not giving you an adequate amount of respect for your love, then that shit's not happening. Don't fall for it, boys. TLDR, stay away from whores. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, man.